20 years. That's how long I designed hell. When I graduated top of my class from Kim Il-sung University's architecture department, I was proud. The party gave me a special assignment. Special Facilities Construction Division. Top secret. I thought it was an honor. A chosen technician. An elite serving the homeland. But when I arrived at my first site, I froze. Deep in the mountains of North Hamgyong Province. Camp 14. Comrade, this place doesn't exist. Understand? The state security colonel said coldly. Beyond the barbed wire, I saw people, skeletal figures with dead eyes. Who are they? Don't ask questions. Your job is design only. From that day, I kept my mouth shut. Instinctively, I knew that asking meant joining them inside. Back in Pyongyang, my wife smiled. Honey, our rations change. We get meat and sugar now. Elite apartment. Foreign currency store access. My daughter's kindergarten was for party officials' children only. This was the price of silence. The cost of seeing but pretending not to know. When orders came to design Camp 22, I had already changed. I'd learned how to kill my emotions. It must never be detected by satellite. Perfect concealment. I hid the entrance behind a waterfall. 3 underground levels. I optimized the flow for torture rooms, solitary cells, and execution chambers. A colleague said, Comrade Park, this efficiency is incredible. Processing one person takes only 15 minutes. I smiled and replied, it's for the party. I was a monster then. Not human, but someone designing killing machines. During Camp 25 construction, an accident occurred. Tunnel collapse buried 12 workers alive. Starting rescue operations. When I shouted, the security colonel waved his hand. Unnecessary. Just seal it up. But they're still alive. That's an order. 12 men. Their screams were buried in concrete. I drank that night, but still heard those sounds. 10 years passed, and I'd become a legend. Facilities designed by Comrade Park are perfect. Promotions, awards, greater privileges. My daughter entered elementary school. Daddy is an amazing architect. My wife said proudly. I nodded with a smile. But every night, I had nightmares. Barbed wire, screams, dead eyes. Then that day came. The day my life completely shattered. During a new camp inspection, I saw them bringing in prisoners for interrogation. A young woman, and a child who looked about 3 years old. Even that child? I muttered, and the security colonel said, 3-generation punishment. The grandfather was a traitor. But the child knows nothing. It's regulation. The child clutched her mother's skirt, crying, Mommy, I'm scared. The woman said with a trembling voice, it's okay. We'll go home soon. A lie. They were entering a place they'd never leave. That night, I cried for the first time. In 20 years, I looked in the mirror. What looked back wasn't an architect. A murderer. Someone who designed the deaths of thousands. What have I done? My hands trembled. Every blueprint I drew was death. Efficient torture rooms, escape-proof structures, soundproof execution chambers. All came from my hands. I entered my daughter's room. Looking at her sleeping face, I saw that 3-year-old child overlapping. This child will grow up not knowing the truth, not knowing what her father did. In that moment, I decided. I had to get out. I had to tell the world this secret. I retrieved all coordinates stored in my head for 20 years. Camps 14, 15, 22, 25. Exact locations of hells that don't exist on maps. I drew a miniature map on A4 paper. Disguised it with codes. Discovery meant immediate execution. I couldn't take my family. Crossing the border alone was nearly impossible with 3. The probability was 0. One evening, my daughter asked, Daddy, we really live in a happy country, right? My teacher said so. I couldn't answer. Yes, we do. A lie. Another lie. But this would be the last. I set an escape date. Midwinter dawn. When the Tumen River freezes. I confirmed my wife was asleep and kissed my daughter's forehead. I'm sorry. So sorry. I whispered and left. In my bag, only exposure documents. 20 years of evidence of my crimes. 4 a.m. I reached the riverbank. Ice cracking sounds echoed. 1 step, 2 steps. Halfway across, a light shone from behind. Halt, move and we shoot. Pursuit team. My heart felt like bursting. I ran. Like crazy. Bang, bang, gunshots. Ice cracked beneath my feet. Please, please. 10 meters to the Chinese bank. 5 meters. Bang. Impact in my shoulder. I fell but crawled. The bag. I couldn't lose the bag. The moment I touched Chinese soil, a flashlight beam hit me. A different light. Quick. This way. Chinese. Someone pulled me. When I came to, I was in an old warehouse. Blood flowed from my shoulder, but the bag was in my arms. 1 month. I moved through underground networks. Thailand, then Korea. When I landed at Incheon Airport, my legs gave out. A Korean intelligence agent said, "Well done. You're safe now." Safe? Really? UN conference hall. A microphone stood before me. Journalists from around the world watched. For 20 years, I designed and built North Korean political prison camps. I started with a trembling voice. Camp 25 is in the eastern valley of Hwadae County, North Hamgyong Province. Coordinates. I exposed everything, one by one. The exact locations of hidden hells, so satellites could find them. The world began to move. Satellite images were released, showing the buildings I designed clearly visible. But 3 months later, news came. My wife and daughter were arrested. Nobody knows where they were taken. I know. They entered one of the places I designed. Every night, I hear my daughter's voice. "Daddy, I'm scared." Like that 3-year-old child. Is my daughter saying the same thing now? I opened the window and looked at Seoul's night view. A free city. A place brightly lit. But I'm not free. Every night I return inside the barbed wire. In nightmares. Lecture requests came. Universities, human rights organizations, international conferences. Please share the survivor's voice. They say, but I'm not a survivor. I'm a perpetrator. A murderer who became a witness. A few days ago, a college student asked, "But you still had conscience left to expose it. Isn't that enough?" I shook my head. It's not enough. The dead don't come back. Today, I stand before the microphone again. My voice echoes, but what I really want to hear is one thing. My daughter's voice. "Daddy, it's okay." Those words. But I may never hear that voice again. This is the price of my sins. The cost of designing hell for 20 years. Still, I won't stop. I'll testify until the day I die. To save even one more person. Until the day the hell I designed completely disappears. That's all I can do.